Hello, is this thing on? Here you're looking to get a Fuego feed. What's up, you guys, and welcome to my channel. I know why you're here. We are about to get some Fuego feeds. So before we get into it, if you're new here, make sure you smash that subscribe button so we can keep hanging out and I can keep giving you the tea on all the things you keep asking. Also, you guys, I have an Instagram and you should follow me there, especially if you have been asking about how I edit my pictures. The Instagram handle is Hey Bria Jones. I also have TikTok, which is why I'm doing this in general, because the video I did about Instagram tips, they've been getting like 3 million views.
There are 3 apps literally every single influencer uses.
Also, while you're here, let me just plug myself and say that I do have a podcast. It's called The People We Follow Podcast. It is on pretty much every podcast platform that you could imagine, and I get to interview some of your favorite TikTokers, Instagram influencers. I also do some solo episodes on that podcast that are very, very enlightening and also answer a lot of questions that you guys ask me in DMs about social media culture, influencers. Yeah, you get it, right? So anyways, subscribe to my podcast. I'll leave the link for you down below. I am literally so excited to share some presets with you guys. The preset link is in the description, and it is a pack of 4 beautiful, stunning presets that will just help your pictures glow up. You can totally just use the preset and be done editing the picture because it'll still look bomb. But a preset is often a starting point for your picture because there's a few things that all of us aren't gonna have in common. And that's the lighting situation, the colors in our picture, the location that we're at. So when you take all of those things into account, you may have to do a little bit of adjusting on your end with things like the exposure, the contrast, the shadows, the highlights, just a little bit. But the preset will help you to at least hit a good starting place. By the end of this video, I promise you're gonna be really comfortable and confident with making your pictures look so stunning, so just stay tuned. A couple frequently asked questions that I know people are probably gonna ask because I've done presets before. Is it meant for just iPhone pictures? I don't have an Android to test it. So know that I made these presets for iPhone photos. I won't be covering how to install the presets because I already made a video on that as well. So you can find that link in the description as well if you need help getting the presets into Lightroom. Lightroom is the only app you need to use the presets. But first things first, I'm going to show you the different presets you will get in the preset pack. Let's start out with the one that you guys have asked most about, which is what I titled You Glow Girl. This is my natural edit. If you look at my feed right now on Instagram, my pictures do not have heavy filters or anything like that. I like to keep it super natural and really play with the lighting and things like that. I like neutral tones, so I think this is a really good filter if you want something light that looks natural, but it does clean up like your shadows and your highlights and some of the colors in the picture. The next preset that I have is called Expose Them, and the reason I titled it Expose Them is because this one is specifically for when your lighting situation is just not great or if you're in a really dim location. So I'll show you kind of a before and after of this picture that I used, but this will help you fix the lighting and still keep it natural. It's very similar to You Glow Girl. So the next preset is a black and white one that I titled A Mood because it is very moody. There is a lot of contrast with this one that adds some dimension for you, and there's a lot of gray that adds texture. So I really love this one, and I love just throwing in a black and white photo here and there on the feed to add some variation and just spice things up a little bit. Okay, and the surprise preset in the bunch is called Clean and Crispy. This is a preset that I haven't even used myself, but I wanted to just throw something extra in there because most of my presets are very natural and light. So this one is a little bit heavier. So if you like filters and like having more of a distinct look, you're gonna love this one. It's still super clean and super minimal. But I tried to go with some cooler tones since I know we're moving into the winter months. So I think it'll be really pretty with the holiday season and things like that. Okay, so those are the 4 presets I have for you. Now I'm gonna actually walk you through how I would use one of them. So I'm gonna use You Glow Girl to do a little demonstration on how I would edit a picture from start to finish. And what I'm gonna do is also show you guys some other photo editing apps that I use in addition to my presets to still give it more flavor. Okay, I'm gonna demonstrate using You Glow Girl so you can see how I also use other apps and what I actually adjust in Lightroom if it needs to be adjusted. We're gonna go into Lightroom, okay? Make sure you import the picture that you wanna use, okay? So going to the Bria Jones preset folder, I'm gonna go to the You Glow Girl preset, which is this picture here. And then I'm gonna click the 3 dots in the top right corner. And I'm just gonna click copy settings. It is literally that easy, you guys. I love technology. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna find the image that I would like to use the preset on. Okay, so we're gonna do this one. Okay, so all I'm gonna do once I am on my image and I have copied the preset is go back to my picture and click the 3 dots in the corner and just click paste, like literally click paste. With the specific lighting situation that I have, I'm gonna tweak a few things and I wanna show you those things that I'm tweaking because based on your camera settings and based on your lighting situation, you'll have to adjust a few things to get the look that you want. So I'm gonna go click the light option at the bottom. And personally, I think this is a little overexposed, so I'm gonna bring the exposure down. And you see that instantly like warms it up. Go back up just a little, right there. See, I love that personally. Honestly, like I wouldn't change much more with this. The exposure was the one thing I noticed off the bat that needed to be fixed. With like the shadow, sometimes you can go to the shadow option and you can bring that down or you can bring it up, whichever way makes sense. But I think the shadows is fine. Also, I would recommend playing with your highlights depending on your picture. You can always go up and down. I like my highlights to be a little bit down personally. So, and if you guys you toggle with something and you don't like it, there's an undo arrow at the top. So you can always go back if you messed with something you didn't want to mess with. There's other settings in here that you can play with yourself, obviously, but personally, I would say just depending on how your picture comes out, toggle with the exposure, toggle with your shadows and your highlights, and maybe your contrast. So I make my presets to be natural, and as a Black creative, that has always been an issue because most presets turn my skin straight up orange, like Cheeto Donald Trump orange, and it's not cute. And so the reason I wanted to make the preset is because a lot of people messaged me that they didn't have a good preset for their skin tone, and like I feel you. I've been there, and that's why I started making presets 3 years ago, because there were none for me. I would say you don't need to toggle with the orange, but if you felt like your skin tone was off for some reason, which I don't think you will because I make sure that it's pretty universal, then you just have to go to the color wheel and click orange. But as you can see, like there's not a heavy setting on it at all. So now that I have added my preset, I am going to show you guys how I make this one into more of a vintage photo. So I'm just going to show you guys how I pair that with my preset, because the preset is obviously a great starting point for a vintage photo too. So I'm going to share this image and I'm going to do export to camera roll. Okay, and so the first app I'm going to go to is Visco. You guys probably know about Visco, and I'm gonna show you, if I use Visco, how I use it. So we're gonna open up Visco, and I am going to import my picture. So in Visco, I really like using the A series and the M series. So I'll show you one of the A series pictures that I really like. A10, I really like how warm that one is, but I do not leave it on the highest setting. So click into the filter, and I literally bring it from 12 to like 1, 2, no 1. I put it so low, you guys, because it still gives you that natural look, but it adds a little bit more character and distinction for your photo. To sharpen, I like to go to about 2. I do like doing that. And remember, this is like a vintagey edit. Like, I don't always do these steps. Then I may or may not add some grain. Depends what vibe I'm going for, but for this one, I'm gonna show you with the grain. And honestly, I don't bring it past like 2, okay? Because then it starts to distort your face and everything. Okay, the fade. So when you guys asked for like a vintage edit, the fade is really cool to add in if that's your thing. Probably put it at like 2. And I might even pull that exposure down a hair. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. So now you can see, like, I'm gonna do 0.5. Yeah. Now you can see like the image has like this vibe about it. And it's not heavy, it's still super natural, the colors are still true tone. That's what I love. Mwah, chef's kiss, baby. Now I am going to go into Cam, but you go to the dust and you can kind of play around till you find a dust that you like. Personally, I love D9, okay? But I don't leave that turned all the way up. I turn it down, and then I rotate it so there's not like a dust speck on my head. You know what I'm saying? Keep rotating, and that seems to be okay. So that adds like a little vintagey vibe. And then also, I love the grain in Cam. Not all grains are made the same, I don't care what people say. You can add in as much as you want or as much as you don't want. I'm gonna do like 12. And this is the final product. It's a very, very light edit, but just doing those things gave it a little more character and a natural vibe. Whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that is how I use the You Glow Girl preset. If you guys have questions, you can drop them in the comments. And in the comment section, let me know which preset is your favorite and if you want to see any other presets in the future, because I got you. Be sure to subscribe and like this video before you head out the door. And thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys